What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over something that I love, and you guys already know. When I'm talking about real estate, I'm talking about investing in multifamily, commercial real estate, great real estate, business level real estate, not single family housing. So, the first thing I wanted to go over, and this is exciting, is about the underwriting. So, usually I call it UW. That's underwriting. 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 A lot of people go over underwriting. There's the back of napkin math of underwriting, but what I want to go over today is there's different things that you have to underwrite if you're going to get into this business. So, if you're an investor, you're just investing with somebody else, somebody like myself at Bell Capital, great. But I want you to kind of think through all of this stuff because you can't just do this. This isn't like oh yeah, I'm just going to get into something. A lot of people are, how do you underwrite a deal? Well, I'm going to go over a couple of things. It's not just underwriting the deal. There's a couple of things you got to underwrite. One, you have to know how to underwrite a deal. How do you even know whether it's a good deal? How do you know how much money to pay for a deal? Right? That's important because the underwriting to underwrite a deal, a multifamily deal, varies. How many units is it? Where's the location? What's the financials? What's the income? Let's take a look at the rent roll, all of the contracts associated with this property. Can we do the deal and does it make financial sense? Let's say we have to buy the deal. Is it going to cash flow at the price that we're going to buy it at? What's the new taxes? What's the new insurance? A lot goes into underwriting the deal, like the deeper level underwriting, right? That's one. Next, you have to underwrite, which is what I was talking about, the financials. Financials, that's financials, whatever. You guys get it. Financials. This is the money. This is the income of the property, income and expenses. We got to figure that out. So first, you got to underwrite the deal. That's location, all that stuff, all over it as a whole. Next, you got to look at the financial underwriting specifically, right? Because this right here also includes the buildings, right? If it's 200 units and let's say it's 10 buildings, and you got the land, and all that stuff has to be taken a look at. Next, you got your financial underwriting. Like, does the deal make money by itself on just on paper? Next, you have to underwrite the debt. All of these deals have debt, right? This is money. How much you going to pay for it and the deal, the physical buildings and the location and all that stuff. Now we look at the financials, 10 year, the 12 months of trailing, 24 months, 3 years back, 10 years, how long has this thing been making money? And now we're going to look at the money you're going to borrow. This is the number one thing you got to focus on when you're looking at a deal and the financials. Because if this don't make sense, you can't get any financing on the deal. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, life insurance companies, a debt fund, private lenders, all that stuff, the banks, nobody's going to give you debt if these don't add up and these don't add up. So this is a whole separate underwriting. Is it on a 3-year debt, 5-year debt, 7-year debt, 10-year debt? Is it Fannie Mae or is it going to be Freddie Mac? Is it a life insurance company? Are they using a 10-year treasury? Or are they using the SOFR? Like all of those things matter. What's the spreads? What's the points? What's the debt yield for later? Um, a lot of things goes into underwriting, just the underwriting on the debt by itself. You gotta either have someone on your team, like I do, or your finance guy, your commercial mortgage guy is going to explain all this stuff to you, but it's its own individual thing. Your responsibility is to understand a little bit of all of this, right? And then the next piece, you got to underwrite the equity, right? Now, you don't know how much equity you're going to need until you know how to underwrite the debt. Equity is a whole different piece. This is your money, your investors' money. However it is you're doing it. Like with us, we have investors. We're raising the equity. It's an equity fund. I have to manage that. So I also need to know, hey, what are going to be the returns on the equity? 15% internal rate of return. We're going to have the deal for what? 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. We plan to double or triple the equity on the out, or I may refinance it, give you all the equity back, keep you in the deal. Now it's an infinite return on the money, but we need to know still, even though we have no money in the deal, the equity in the deal, let's say the deals went up in value, what is the ROI on the equity in the deal based on the cash flow that we're getting? So we can still go back and look and say, hey, is it time to resell or is it time to refinance again? Even though we're infinite on our money, the equity in the deal still has its own return that you need to take a look at and find out, hey, is it time to be able to re-enter the market? Also a form of underwriting. You got to know all this stuff. And last but not least, the exits with an S. Hey, when you exit the deal, you have to also know what is the underwriting on that. What is going to be your exit cap rate? When you come to market, what do you think who's the buyer, right? Is it another life insurance company? Is it going to be another group that's coming? Is it an institution? What are the returns that they need to hit to be able to make this deal worthy of taking a look at when it's time to exit? Or what's the debt yield that the lenders are going to be looking at later? Right? Are you going to be able to refinance? Is it going to be a DSCR loan? Or are they going to come in on a debt yield? Like all of these things has to be underwritten so you know how you're going to focus on the money. So for you guys out there that are looking to get into multifamily real estate and you guys are just starting off, look, if you're looking at little deals, this may not matter as much. You may just need to underwrite the deal, underwrite the debt, and if you're going to use your own money or one or two partners, maybe you'll have to know how much money you're going to pay your investors. Great. But you still got to exit the deal. So you need to know this too. If you're going to do a refinance and sell, and hold on to it and sell later, or you're going to just come to market and sell, you still got to know your underwriting still has to make sense. Here's the crazy part. This is a bonus. Your debt partners, let's say you go with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or you have another group, they're constantly going to be looking at the debt. They're going to look at the performance of your deal. When they look at the performance of your deal, let's say you've been in the deal for 7 years. 7 years or 6.5 years or 6 years, about 6 years in, and they know you're going to be refinancing or coming to market during that time, they're going to be looking at your financials as well. They're going to want a quarterly report of your financials on that particular deal. They're going to say, okay, this person is supposed to be here. If they're here based on financials and they have given us an exit cap rate, a thought process to be able to exit the deal, whether they're going to sell it, do we think they're going to hit that based on its current performance? And if they don't, they're going to reach out to you and say, hey, I think you might need to come to market today. They're going to start dictating what you can do in your deal. So when you underwrite your deal, it's going to be constantly moving. Your financials are going to go up and down all the time. Financials up and down. So when you buy the deal, you need to underwrite it. Where is it? How's the property? The value of the asset, the value of the location, blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to be like, okay, what are the financials? 12 months behind, 3 months behind, last month, the rent roll. Is the rent roll fluctuating? Or people still 12 months in, or there are a couple of people for 2 months, couple of people for 6 months, couple of people for 8 months? You're gonna do what's called a rent roll analysis, or what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it's like an evaluation of the rent roll. I can't think of the word right now; it's escaping me. But next, you're going to send over those financials to to somebody on your debt team or your commercial mortgage broker. They're going to ask for that anyways. They're like, hey, we need to see 12 months finance, the T12. If you can get 2 years, great. They're going to need to see the tax returns of the property. They're also going to want to see a current rent roll, and they're going to do their own research, and they're going to come back and say, hey, here's where we are interested in coming in. It's going to be based on Fannie, Freddie, life insurance company, a debt fund, regional bank, local bank, whatever. And they're going to make the decision. And then they're going to give you their financials. They're going to give you their financial underwriting on the debt itself. Then you're going to look at that and you're going to try to have to negotiate and be like, okay, they're going to say, dude, we'll give you 60% LTV. We'll give you 55% loan to value. We'll give you 70% loan to value, whatever that is. And then you're going to be like, okay, cool. Now I have to come up with the rest of the money, right? You're going to raise that through investors. You're going to do it yourself, or you're going to do it with one or two people, whatever you're going to do. Or you're going to put your money in with somebody like myself, and you're going to be like, wow, I don't have to worry about all that. Vic's got it handled. But either way, you're still going to have to be like, okay, cool. If you're doing this yourself, or you're a part of you're part of the equity, you're investing your money, there's another whole evaluation. I got to figure out, okay, we got to make a return on our money in the deal. How much money are we going to make on our money? And how long is that going to take? And what is going to be the return on that? And how are we going to get out? What's the plan? Then after that's a whole new underwriting. Now we got to be like, hey, here's the plan to get out. We got some of our money back, cash flow. We got some of our money back through increases in income. Now we're going to get back our equity, all of it or a huge portion of it. And we're either going to stay in the deal or we're going to sell. What does that look like? Is it going to be 2x? Right? You need to know that. So this is another underwriting. This is another underwriting. How many is that? I think that's four. Probably four. No, that's five. So you need to learn how to underwrite the deal. You need to know that you need to underwrite the financials. You need to know how to underwrite the debt, right? And you need to underwrite your equity, right? Four. if you're doing this yourself, or if you're just being a part of somebody else's equity, if you're going to invest money, then you just need to know what your returns are. That's a part of your underwriting. And then how are we going to get out? All of this, though, has to do with money. Like, that's why I was sharing with you guys. When you get into multifamily real estate, you're not really in the real estate business, you're in the finance business. This is about money, allocating capital. I'm great at that. I'm extremely disciplined with money. I'm extremely disciplined with picking the right deal. Why? Because all of this is a professional activity. You are taking your hard-earned money, earned income, and you are investing it into a vehicle that sends out passive cash flow to you, right? Which is why I said, that's why it's got to hit all my markers. Number one, it's got to cash flow. You got to get appreciation in the deal. Appreciation in the deal. You got to also get tax benefits from there. And it's got to have scale, meaning that if it's big enough, it can last the test of time. Because like we said, if your debt's 5 years, 7 years, it's got to be big enough. You ain't going to buy a 5-unit or even an 8-unit deal, right? And that you're not going to have problems over 5-7 years. Like that's a long time. You're gonna be in this deal for a while. So it's got to be big enough. And then last but not least, you got to be able to get good debt, or like I like to call it, leverage. These are the things that we're looking for when we're just looking at investing money from a financial perspective, managing money into a deal. It's got to make us money every month. We got to have the opportunity to go up in value based on increasing the income. We got to get the tax benefits so we can keep more of the money we make. It's got to be big enough so we what's the word? Diversify, spread out over one location. We have multiple units big enough to be able to weather any economic storm long term. And we got to be able to get good leverage. $1 invested needs to buy us $2 to $3 to $4 in the specific deal. And that happens with the debt and the financing. So that's why when I'm looking at a deal or I'm talking to you guys, I'm not just, even though I make things really simple, that's my goal is, I mean, this is a business for me. I've been doing this for 25 plus years. So I can look at a deal and go, dude, that deal's great. It cash flows. The money, any investor will want it. Any finance or commercial or debt guy will want it 100%. I know that this property is big enough to where if something were to happen, if the market crashes, we all go to hell in a handbasket. This deal will last because it's big enough. It's not going anywhere. It can't be taken away. It can't be destroyed. Like that's huge. But that is a portion of the underwriting. So when you're investing with somebody, they need to have these conversations with you. And if they're not, and you're going to do this yourself, you need to think through what is that. All right. I'm here for you. I wanted to share this with you because this is important because I do talk to guys who are like, dude, I want to do this myself. And I'm like, great. And they're like, I need to learn how to underwrite a deal. Like, how do you even know it's a good deal? And they'll bring a deal and I'm like, dude, the location's shitty because they don't know how to underwrite the deal itself, the asset. Is its own individual underwriting. You got to know what that is. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to buy it and paint it and fix it up and people are going to pay more. That's not always the case when you're talking about investing real money and doing this deal to change your financial future. This one thing, if you know how to do these underwrite these 5 locations, you're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars in your lifetime, or you're going to invest money in hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars worth of real estate in your lifetime and take care of your family for generations. That's what I want to help you guys do. So I hope this helps you. And I know I went through this pretty quickly, but you can watch this video again, but I wanted to share this because I thought that this would be valuable for you, whether you're doing it yourself or you're wondering, how does Vic think through deals when we're choosing deals to invest in using Bell Capital, right? Go to bell-capital.com if you're interested in seeing what we're working on and what we have open right now, deals are working. Bell-capital.com, register your account. That's the only way to see anything that we're working on. You got to register, and then we will reach out to you. Or if you have questions, leave me a comment, like the video, share the video, or not. No big deal. But I wanted to make this because I like sharing with you what I'm doing behind the scenes. And this is the easiest way for me to do this is to just share education on how I'm making decisions. And if you're going to do it, you can model it or not. Or if this helps you make better decisions in what you're looking at, great. That's my purpose for doing this. So I hope you guys have a great day today. Let me know if this helps. I love it. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment. I'm here for you. I'll keep doing this. But I thought this was something that I wanted to share because somebody asked me about underwriting, and I wanted to share that there's so much more to this business. But if you keep it simple, you can do it because I did it and I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So have a great day today. I appreciate you guys. Let's get after it. Boom.